Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday morning. We are going to do a quick get ready with me because I'm about to meet my friend Tess in about an hour. We're gonna go to this pop-up shop in which of course I'm gonna bring you guys along, and then I'm gonna go to lunch with Tess. So I need to get ready just a little bit, nothing too much. I have also an event tonight with Patron, which is super fun and I'm super excited for. But I figured this would be the time to record a video all about how to stay on track of your goals this summer. Because honestly, I live a very balanced life. I go out with my friends, I do things in the city now that I'm here. I recently just came back from the cottage, and with all of that, I've still maintained my goals. I've still been on track, and I want to give you guys my tips and things that I've learned over the years when it comes to staying on your goals this summer, because I know when summer comes, there's so many things and we kind of just fall off the things that we maybe set forth for ourselves in the new year. And I know for me, I used to always be someone who would start something and stop, start and stop, whether that be fitness, dieting, anything to do with career related things. I would constantly go into cycles, but I no longer live that way anymore. And I no longer feel like I'm always falling off of things. And especially this weekend, I have things going on starting today. I guess today will be the weekend, but I also have a lot of work to do. So let's quickly get ready together. I'm not gonna do a full face or like a full makeup look or hair because I wanna leave that for tonight, but I still wanna kind of look my cutest. But before we do a get ready with me, I just wanna say thank you to Native for sponsoring today's video. So you guys know, I'm all about taking care of yourself from a very holistic standpoint. I love balanced living, and I love to make sure that the products that I'm putting on my body are as clean as they can be, as simple but obviously also effective. Especially when it comes to deodorant, when I am lounging at home, I love to use aluminum-free, paraben-free, very simple ingredient deodorant. And Native deodorant literally has been my go-to aluminum-free deodorant for so many years. I remember when they first came on the market with their like one and only deodorant. Fast forward to now, not only do they have many ranges of deodorants, they also have body washes now, they have skincare products, hair care, toothpaste. Not only are their deodorants aluminum free and paraben free, deodorants are also vegan and cruelty free. So the first deodorant I have, which is my absolute favorite, is the citrus and herbal musk deodorant. This scent has such a clean and like awakening scent. And even today when I had put this on before I went to the gym, I caught myself multiple times looking around and being like, what is that smell? And then I remembered I was wearing this deodorant and I was like, actually it's me. And today I had a very heavy leg day and I was sweating the entire workout. I still smelled amazing. And their deodorant protects up to 72 hours, which is obviously amazing. Next deodorant I have, which is such a good deodorant for like your self-care Sunday days, and it's their buttercream and French vanilla scent. Also, when you apply this deodorant, it feels very dry and not sticky at all. The last deodorant I have is from their sensitive line, which I love that they have this sensitive line, and their sensitive line is also aluminum free, but it has no baking soda in it, but it's still strong enough to obviously keep your odor away. This scent is in sandalwood and shea butter, and it also gives such a clean and fresh smell. This is also another one that I think could work for both men and women. Native also offers a plastic-free version of their deodorants. So it's the same deodorant, but of course with sustainable packaging if that's what you're interested in. So if you're on the market for a deodorant that has more minimal ingredients, but they also still smell amazing, then you can use my code GOGUEN, G-O-G-U-E-N, for 20% off your first purchase with Native. This offer will also be available site-wide, but only for a limited time. So you can find the link to purchase these deodorants down below, where you can use my code GOGUEN to take 20% off of your first purchase. Thank you again, Native, for sponsoring today's video. It is a dream come true literally working with this brand because I have been backing them for years. So when I was thinking about the tips that I would have when it comes to staying on track of your goals this summer, I thought about the fact that I don't really need to try very hard to stay on track of my goals anymore, because a lot of the routines and the good things that I have going for myself in my life have become a part of my identity, which was different than how I used to look at goals and like healthy routines and things like that previously. So for me, what has really helped me is to detach from the outcome that I'm trying to work towards, the goal in a sense, which sounds very counterintuitive in a way because it's like, don't we want to focus on our goal? Don't we want to focus on the end? And yes, but the way that I focus on the end, it's as if I'm already in this end state now. I already know that these things are already done, versus looking at my goals like the fit body or eating healthy or having more money. I'm not looking at it from a place of scarcity, like I don't know when it's going to come. only until I have the fit body or the money, then I'm gonna be happy. Or I'm telling myself stories like it's gonna be so hard to achieve this thing. I'm no longer looking at my goals from that scarcity place. I'm looking at my goals from a place of trusting, a place of knowing that it's going to happen, a place of abundance. And that type of mindset allows me to stop getting in my own way. Because when I look at my goals from this place of scarcity, of being like, I have to have this thing or else, or it's gonna be really hard for me to get this thing, naturally, I'm going to talk myself out of going to the gym or eating right, or I'm gonna feel like I'm restricting myself, or I'm gonna feel very in the lack mindset, like I'm very poor, or I can't have the life that I want and I'm not happy right now. When I look at my goals from that place, I won't enjoy the process, and then inevitably, when old stories come up, or when I wake up in the morning and I don't feel 100%, I will easily talk myself out of it because I don't enjoy the process. I don't enjoy being a fit person. I don't enjoy eating healthy. I don't enjoy how my life is right now. When I tell myself I have to do the morning routine, or I have to go to the gym and I have to do these things because right now who I am is not inherently good enough, that is when I inevitably burn myself out. And the thing is, when you start to identify as somebody who is fit, somebody who eats well, somebody who gets up and works, they don't have these conflicting thoughts of like, should I go to the gym today or should I not? Should I eat healthy today or should I not? Should I go into work today or should I not? You don't really have those conflicting questions in your head because you are just a person who goes to the gym, who takes care of themselves, who X, Y, and Z. We can even use smokers as an example. If you want to quit smoking, it's going to be more of a challenge when you look at yourself as a smoker. You tell yourself every day, I'm going to battle having to not smoke, versus waking up and being like, I'm a non-smoker. A non-smoker doesn't think about whether or not they should have a smoke today. They don't think about it. So you have to ask yourself the question, whoever it is that you want to be in your life, how are they thinking? What are their actions? What are the stories that they're telling themselves? Now, another thing that's really helped me, especially when it comes to starting something new and trying to identify as a person who eats better or goes to the gym or takes care of themselves, because obviously there's still going to be a process in which you have to change from one self-concept to the other. Like, okay, I am trying to identify as somebody who's constantly going to the gym or taking care of themselves. I'm switching my mindset and being like, this is just a way of life. What's helped is to drop the perfectionist mindset, because the truth is, even if you do identify as somebody who like goes to the gym regularly, that person who is a fit person, there's gonna be days where maybe they don't feel the absolute best and they have a shorter workout, they have a lighter workout, they are maybe switching, instead of going to the gym, they're going for a hot girl walk. Like, there's going to be some diversity, some duality within everything. And I feel like where we really get tripped up is, okay, maybe I seriously cannot go to the gym today, or I have a harder emotional day, so I'm not eating the best, or I just didn't have time, or something stressed me out. Instead of falling off the wagon and being like, oh my God, see, all my progress is ruined, you simply are just telling yourself that is just life. It is totally fine that I'm not 100% with my diet, with my fitness, with my morning routines, whatever. And the more times you be okay with not being perfect, the quicker you will be able to stand back up the next day. And I can tell you this from personal experience. I used to be a hyper perfectionist. I used to try and do everything all or nothing, 100%. Of course, I would always fail. I would also always fail because I was looking at my goals from this place of scarcity of like, I have to do this or else. So those goals and routines were very skewed anyways. They weren't even aligned. They were just kind of like unrealistic in a way. But the more I was in that mindset, the longer it took for me to actually pick myself back up, because I would wait for the day that I would feel 1000% like enough energy to go to the gym, or until my mental health was 100% for me to get into the mood to go to the gym or take care of myself. You don't have to be 100% to take care of yourself. You don't have to have all the energy in the world to get up out of your bed and go do a walk. And what's really helped me is telling myself, like, honestly, anything is better than nothing. And even if I can't do this workout at 100% or eat 3 meals that are super perfectly healthy, doesn't mean I shouldn't do anything. And when you're in that perfectionist mindset, you really are convinced that the only way you're going to get to your goal or whatever it is that you want in your life is if you do things 100%, if you like follow a diet perfectly or whatever. But the truth is that is completely an illusion. It's really just a protection mechanism to make you feel like you are safe and in control in your life. And realistically, that's just not what it is. It doesn't need to be like that. If anything, you're actually more out of control neutral than you think. So when it comes to staying on your goals, and let's say you're not having the most perfect day, what I like to do is give myself a lot of options when it comes to, let's say, fitness or food or work that I'm working towards. Instead of just, let's say I wake up, I'm on my period, or I just literally am not having the best day. Instead of being like, oh my God, I'm just not gonna do anything and start on Monday, I remind myself, for one, if I completely drop everything, it's going to be 10 times harder to get back up. And I'm most likely going to lose a lot of the progress that I have made because I'm gonna keep pushing things off. So I try to get good at being okay with doing the bare minimum sometimes. And that can be definitely hard for people who are perfectionists, because again, it's like, no, I wanna do 100% or not at all. But realistically, if you think about it, if you actually were to like take numbers to a paper and realize that if you actually just woke up and did a hot girl walk every single day that you didn't feel like going to the gym versus just not doing anything, you'd actually be further in your fitness goals or further in your health goals than you actually think. But you are so stuck on being like, no, the only way that I'm gonna be fit and have this body is if I do a gym workout 100%, and because I can't do that right now, then just nothing. It's so far from the truth. So always gauging where you're at. If you really are struggling, you wake up and you're like having a mental health day or you're not feeling the best, asking yourself, okay, what can I do? What are a few small steps that I can do today that will still either keep me sustained towards the goals that I'm working towards, and or will slowly bring me up? It can just be like a 1% change. So again, going for a hot girl walk if the gym is just out of the game today. Or let's say your mood is just a little bit off and you're just like not able to have this long, extensive morning routine where you're journaling. Okay, well, maybe on your hot girl walk, you're gonna listen to a podcast that kind of gets you in the mood of whatever it is that you're trying to be in when it comes to like healing work, or you're working on yourself, whatever, but it's like low maintenance. You don't really have to do anything. You're not writing, you're not sitting with your thoughts, like whatever it is. Find alternatives. Don't just drop everything and then just be a potato, because obviously you know what's gonna happen when you feel like that. It's gonna be harder for you to get back up. And again, remind yourself, the person who identifies, like the person who is a healthy person, or has good mental health, or has good habits, or has the career that they want, they don't just put their hands up and just be like, no, can't do anything. They're usually working towards something. Even when it comes to my work, if I'm like super overwhelmed and I need like a day off, I usually won't give myself a full day off unless I really need it, because obviously there's gonna be days where you really just can't do anything, and that's totally fine too. But what I'll do is, okay, what can I do that's towards my career, but maybe it's just not taking all of me out? Okay, well, maybe it's just editing a video, even though today was supposed to be a filming day. And of course, I'm looking in my planner and I'm making sure I can move one day to the other. Like, I'm obviously making these plans so that my life doesn't just go up in flames. And that's another thing, right? Like, you really wanna plan your things out and give yourself some flexibility. And this reminds me of just balancing masculine and feminine energy, which I think I'm gonna do a vlog on as well next week, of how to balance both energies, because I've really gotten good at doing that. Having some sort of plan in place will also help you feel a little bit more at ease, being like, okay, today I'm not gonna film today because honestly my energy is off and I just can't do it. I'm gonna work on something towards my business. I'm not gonna just fall completely off because I'm gonna feel like crap about myself, but I'm also gonna make a plan of action of when it is that I'm going to get back on doing this thing. But it's really gonna take some mental practice on your end to have a new internal dialogue, because what's gonna happen when you do try to stop being such a perfectionist and work on yourself like 1% every day, like trying to switch from one self-concept to another or one identity to another, you're gonna have thoughts that come in and be like, no, this is not good enough. See, you should really do that full workout. And because you can't, then just start on Monday, or it's just not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. You have to tell yourself a new story in that moment, being like, listen, this not good enough, or this perfectionist mindset, this is a manifestation of the old version of me, and I'm trying to become a new version of me right now. So I'm gonna witness this for what it is, but I'm gonna understand that this doesn't have to be my truth anymore. This doesn't need to be the story that I tell myself. And in fact, this story is not actually keeping me safe. It's not getting me where I need. Like, look at all the things that you continue to keep falling off of because of this perfectionist mindset, because of this way of thinking, because of your scarcity when it comes to this huge attachment on your goals that you want in your life, based off of you honestly not actually believing that these things will be true, or that you can get these things, or that the stories you're telling yourself about how you're going to get these things are going to be so hard. Like, it all really does come down to your mindset and what you tell yourself and how you are going to get these things. If you think everything is going to be hard in your life, it will be hard. I promise you it will be hard. If you start to look at things in your life like it's easy, it's enjoyable, you don't need this thing anyways for you to feel content, which I know it can be hard, you will start to see that you stop falling off of things so heavily. But on top of that, you have to be in that self-accepting, in that imperfectionist mindset. You have to be okay with not being perfect. Okay, you know what? Today, it wasn't the best day. I didn't get that full workout in. Okay, not a big deal. I'm not gonna keep thinking about it and ruminating about it and being like, oh my God, I'm in progress, this, that, and the third. It is what it is. Take a little bit of the L. You didn't really take a huge L because it is what it is. You're a normal person and we're just gonna get back to it when we can. But what we do is we hyper focus on the things that we don't want in our lives. But how is it that you are going to get what you want in your life when you're thinking about all the ways in which you messed up, all the ways that it's not perfect, all the things that you don't have yet? I promise you, you will not do it. And I was in that mindset for years of my life. I was chronically stressed. I was in my toxic masculine energy, really, trying to achieve goals from a place of working super hard and not smart. I was always in scarcity. I was always so hard on myself. I never allowed myself for imperfections. I never really even accepted myself. And that foundation of thinking and believing will bleed out into all of your actions. And if you are constantly stopping and starting and you're really struggling with getting what you want in your life, it's because the foundation, honestly, I'm pointing to my heart, but really in your head, that foundation is a little bit off, and that's totally fine. But it's gonna be up to you every single day when you want to decide that you want to become a new version of you and get what you want in your life. You need to be the one checking yourself when you have these thoughts. Okay, this is a manifestation of the old version of me. I'm not going to listen to this story, and I know if I continue to listen to this story, I'm not going to get what I want in my life. You have to be okay with not being 100% perfect. It's literally illusion anyways, and I promise you, if you were to put numbers on a paper, you will see that you actually being imperfect will get you closer to what you want in your life than you trying to be all or nothing. Okay, I'm done getting ready. I didn't do much to my hair, like I said. I honestly think I'm gonna wear this sweater and maybe wear my Tommy Hilfiger black jacket over it. It is early in the morning and it's a little gloomy out and it's definitely not that warm, and I feel like no one can expect me to be wearing a full-on outfit right now. That's gonna be for tonight. I'll show you what we get up to, and then when we come back from lunch, or when I come back from lunch, I want to give you guys some more tips in terms of when I am actually going out and like how to stay on my goals and the mindset that I have when I go out as well. We are back home. I am so full. I had this turkey burger with like avocado, chipotle aioli, some carrot and something else, carrot and cabbage coleslaw. I don't know, but I ate the whole entire freaking thing. It was so delicious. Of course, Tess and I unpacked our entire lives. I literally love hanging out with her because we have the same mindset and we just talk about the same things, and I just love being on the same page with my friends. Realistically, I only have friends that I'm on the same page with, but it's just so nice to always talk to her, especially because she is also a content creator, so I feel like we just like we really live kind of the same life. Also, she gave me a Busy Blooming hoodie, which I'm so obsessed with. This was supposed to be given to me a very long time ago, but we just didn't get to it. And like I showed you guys, she got me this. This is my new podcast art, like laminated on this little glass or like plastic thing. And I think this is so cute. Like I'm just staring at it on my table right now. You know what it's giving? It's giving YouTube play button, but for podcasting. I love this, and ideally I would like to have some sort of, I've told you guys before in my podcast that I want some sort of shelf here so that I can put like, I don't know, like things in the back. And I feel like this would be perfect there. But of course, before we went to eat, we went to Allegra Shaw's pop-up shop for her clothing line, and it was so freaking aesthetic, guys. Like, I actually didn't know who Legra Shaw was, and Tess was like, how do you not know who that is? So I feel like some of you are about to drag me in the comments because she's actually a very big content creator and a YouTuber. And I think maybe it's just because I'm not in that side or on that side of YouTube. I feel like maybe I probably have come across some of her videos before. Clothing pieces were insane, so beautiful. Vibe was immaculate. I did see a lot of creators that are from around Toronto, which was really cool to see. And like, you never know who's gonna show up to these events. Like, I go to so many different ones, and I'm signed with an agency, so my agency sends me a lot of invitations to go to different events around the city. And depending on the event, I can kind of suss out like who might be there, but I never really know until I get there. Like the Patron event tonight, I have no idea what type of influencers are gonna be there. Like when I went to the Shoppers Beauty event, I knew for the most part it was going to be more beauty influencers, even though I didn't really know many of them, but I figured it'd be more of them. But some of them you just never know. They're always a good time, and it's always something fun to do, especially with Tess or Joy. Joy's coming with me to the Patron event, which I am going to get her on camera because I wanna ask her what her tips are for staying on track. So I am somebody who goes to the gym regularly, and right now in the gym, I'm very much so focused on growing my muscle and making sure that I'm training correctly. And with that, I need to make sure that I'm eating enough food in order to build muscle, and on top of that, the right types of food. And I'm not somebody who is like strict all or nothing. I'm not on any sort of diet. Like I'm not counting calories, macros, whatever. I'm just more conscious of what I'm eating. But this goes beyond just having that end outcome goal. Like I just want to be somebody who prioritizes eating full meals, eating the meals that are actually beneficial to me when it comes to nutrients and macronutrients. So when I go out, I am not somebody who restricts myself, but I am always making sure that I'm supporting my body and my goals the best way that I know how. But it's not from a place of being like, oh, I have to look on the menu for the lowest calorie meal, or I have to pick something that I know I'm not gonna like or that I can't have. It's not from that place. I look at choosing food for myself as a way to fuel my body and to support myself, and not ever restricting myself. And the more that I don't restrict myself, the less I actually want to go for like the most deep fried food or the thing that's not really as calorie dense. And if I do go for that, because I'm not a perfectionist and because I'm like, it's not a big deal that I had this thing, I end up going back to how I usually eat. It's always been the times where I've insanely restricted myself that I ended up going into a binge cycle or just falling off my goals like insanely. And even today, I was thinking about what to get. I knew I wanted the burger, and then I was looking at the sides and I was like, like what do I want? And I felt in that moment like I wanted a salad. It was from a place of identifying as somebody who really takes care of herself. And when you take care of yourself, you eat foods that make you feel good. And majority of the time, fried foods don't make me feel good. What makes me feel good is eating food with lots of protein, healthy fats, something that's gonna fill me up, something that tastes good. So I think my best tip when it comes to trying to stay on your goals, whether that's like health, fitness, like wellness, like whatever it is when you're going out of your normal routine, is to drop the stories of what it means if you were to eat the foods that are not technically on your diet or not do that full workout. Stop focusing on the lack. Stop focusing on the wrongdoing. Stop focusing on the negative. Remind yourself of who it is you are trying to identify as and what would make you feel good from that place. Eating a turkey burger with lots of protein and lots of avocado and all that kind of stuff with a really good tasting salad makes me feel good, but I'm not choosing to eat that meal because I have to, because it's punishment. It is simply a thing that makes me feel good. And listen, I get that there's sometimes you have to follow some sort of rules, right? But I've just never actually been able to be consistent when I'm in this energy of telling myself that I can't have X, Y, and Z. It's like literally telling yourself not to think about a purple elephant. All you think about is a purple elephant. And something that's helped me when it comes to either fitness or dieting or really anything, if I continue to go back to these unhealthy behaviors, it's obviously much deeper than that. And it was deeper than that for me too. I didn't value taking care of myself. I didn't feel like I was somebody that should be taking care of themselves. Like I just didn't care about myself enough. I put everyone first. I also was emotionally attached to certain foods, in which I had to address that, because even when I did take off restrictions, sometimes I still would go and eat the food that wasn't as healthy for me me, but I was always doing that from a place of suppressing my emotions. And until I really dealt with the emotions that would come up that I want to suppress down with food, only then did I realize I don't need the food. Something that I also like doing, especially when I know it's either some sort of rest day or I'm just not gonna get into the gym today, is I really do make sure that I'm still moving my body. So if there's a place that I am going in which I have to skip the gym for, I'm trying to walk there instead. Or at least before it gets dark out at night, I'm doing a hot girl walk and I'm listening to a podcast if that's all I can do. Instead of taking Ubers or getting rides everywhere, I'm gonna take an extra 20-30 minutes out of my day and do that walk. And as I'm doing these things, I'm reminding myself, like, I am taking care of myself, I am moving my body. All of these things count. Everything counts. These small little tweaks, these small little decisions in your life, that be taking the Uber versus walking, or choosing a salad because you know it makes you feel good versus eating the fries that you don't really even want, or you're just doing it because you're just stuck in this pattern. They're gonna make such a huge difference. And even if you're having the salad, but you're having the burger with it, that's still a balanced meal. It's still fine. Also, I know a lot of you guys have financial goals and you have certain like budgets and things you wanna like keep on track for the summer. And I think when it comes to being on track of your financial goals, you really do need to have a plan set in place, because if not, you will sometimes just start spending money on things that you either don't need or you just didn't plan for. So having maybe a weekly or a monthly budget where this money is for things like going out on a whim and doing a pop-up shop if you wanted to buy something, or maybe it is before you go out for the day, you're making sure you have a water bottle with you, a little backpack with some snacks in it. You're making sure you're eating before you go out somewhere. And I don't mean just like eating before you go to dinner and then not eating anything, because like, don't do that. But just preparing yourself a little more. There's so many times where I've spent way too much money on things that I literally didn't need because I did not plan things out. And honestly, that comes with everything. If you do not plan your days, and this doesn't have to be perfect, but if you do not plan, things are just not going to get done. And even like this week, I knew that I had certain events that I was going to, certain things that I was doing. So I made sure that I was getting in the most energy draining tasks and the most energy draining workouts on days where I knew I was gonna have the most energy, and then putting the lighter workouts or giving myself some time for some flexibility on the days where I knew I had a lot going on. And that just made my week flow. So if you're somebody who doesn't really have a plan in place when it comes to your fitness, how you want to be eating, the meals that you want to be eating, financial goals, your career goals, it is really time for you to make a plan. Like, you want to look at your future and who you want to become. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't need to be following things 100% of the time, but if you have certain days where you're going to the gym, it's going to be better than you just being like, hey, I'm going to go to the gym this week. Okay, well, when are you going to go to the gym? Start picking out the days where you know you'll probably have the most time or the most energy. It'll be easier for you to get into that routine. And once you get into that routine and you start to identify as that person, it won't feel so much like a trying process. But when you're first starting out and you're first trying to switch your identity to something else, and I was talking to Tess about this too at lunch, it's gonna really take some effort for you. It's gonna take you being strategic with where you're placing your time and your energy and your focus so that you can rewire your brain so that you can continue to do these habits almost automatic. Just know when you first start something, it's not going to feel the easiest because you have certain programming, you have certain behaviors, you're used to living a certain way. That doesn't mean you need to give up. You keep trying, but you make sure the way that you're trying, you're not doing things 1,000, a million %, you're getting super hard on yourself if you don't. If you fall off, it's fine, just get back up. Thinking about babies, do they just get up and try to walk and then when they fall, just never get up again? Like, no, they keep going until they get it. Or when you're riding a bike, you keep riding that bike until you can take those trainers off. Or even athletes, they practice all the time to get so good at their craft. If you're learning a new language or you're learning something new for the first time, you think you just get it and that's that? No, you need to rewire your brain. You need to get good at this thing over and over and over again, but eventually it will get easier for you. So anyways, I'm going to wash my face. I'm gonna have a quick nap. Joy is about to come over around 4:30 and then we will be off with Patron. Hello vlog, we are ready to go to the Patron event. We had some wine, we were discussing our life like always, and Joy is gonna come on the camera. Hello. Hi. So I told her that I wanted to ask her what her tips are in terms of staying on track of your goals this summer. Do you have any advice, any tips? Because I feel like you get a lot of things done in your life, regardless of what's happening, what are your tips?
Absolutely. Tips is to hold yourself accountable and stay disciplined.
How do you hold yourself accountable?
Well, throughout this week, today's Thursday, throughout this week, and I work on the weekends as well, is that I know that I have an event coming up. So I know that, I have to stay on track. I have to get things done either throughout the week or the day before. But like, in order to let myself loose and have fun today, I have to get my stuff done throughout the week. Right. So it's not in the back of my mind, because I'm that person that always has work in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
So in order to set myself up for success, set myself up for fun, I get my stuff done and then let myself have fun. It's all about balance and holding yourself accountable and being disciplined.
So you plan a lot.
I plan a lot.
That's what I was saying too. Like, I make sure to know what's happening in my life. Like, if I'm going to an event, then I want to make sure that I'm putting my workouts in, or making sure that I'm eating properly in certain days or times, so that
in preparation.
In preparation. Just prepping for things. Because if you don't have sometimes if you don't have a plan, like, it's like, well, when are you gonna go to gym then? Or like, when are you gonna take care of yourself? Or like, you're gonna say yes to all these opportunities and these events, and then it's like, well, where's the time that you're going to put towards your goals or your routines?
Yeah, especially after like a really like fun night out where you're drinking and having fun and you're partying. It's hard to get back into routine the next day.
Right.
You don't feel good. You don't want to do it, but in the back of your mind, you know that you did it throughout the week.
Yeah.
So you're kind of setting yourself up for success at that.
Right. And then another thing, and it's so funny because one of my videos that has a lot of views, all about exiting your lazy era, I opened up that video talking about how my friend, she has a nice body because she goes to the gym. And this is Joy, by the way. And so, what are your thoughts on like just identifying as somebody who goes to the gym versus like stressing about that outcome? Because I feel like you're different with that.
Yeah. Of course, I had that phase of me when I was stressing about the outcome.
Yeah.
I started working out I started doing cardio at 14 years old, being very aware of like the physical health and like the physical how I look.
Aesthetics.
Yeah. At 14, so that is a very kind of toxic age to think about these things.
Yeah.
So I started off like that, just like I think how a lot of girls do.
Yeah.
But I worked out consistently until I was 16, and then right like between the 2 years at 16 years old, it kind of became my lifestyle. Where I know some girls have like a journal of like, okay, what body parts to work out today, and there's a journal, blah blah. That's great. I do that as well. And they also have like, a journal of when to go to the gym. But you don't have a journal of when you're gonna brush your teeth.
Yeah.
You don't have a journal of when you're going to shower.
You don't have to plan it.
You don't have to plan it.
You don't have to
just
think about
it.
it.
Exactly.
Just do it.
It's a routine. It's a lifestyle. That's really the way I think about it. I mean, like, I don't plan something and say in 4 to 6 weeks, I must accomplish this.
Yeah.
There's no timeline for me.
Right, and that's it. I think that actually is the key. It's like, and it's counterintuitive in a way. Like, it's just like, it's hard for you to not care about the outcome, especially when you're in a state where you're not happy with your body. It's like, it's understandable, and you kind of want to have some sort of goal or somewhere to look. But when we look so hard, we do not enjoy the process, and then it becomes this timeline thing. And like, there should not actually really be a timeline when it comes to like eating healthy and like healthy routines and stuff. Yes, you can ebb and flow, but at the end of the day, it's like, this should be a part of your life anyways. The reason why you're not healthy is because you haven't been doing these things for yourself. It should be a normal thing. This is not to say that like, yes, you're gonna be in the gym grinding every single week, all for the rest of your life, you're gonna ebb and flow. But being healthy, like doing things for your body, whichever way that looks, like walking or going to the gym, should be a normal, consistent thing.
Exactly. Like, you're not looking at going to the gym to have this outcome. Just like, you're not brushing your teeth to like, it's just, it's good for you, so you just do it.
And then, on top of that, the byproduct of you identifying and being this person is you will get the body.
You get it.
You will have the health. You will have the good teeth, because it's just a normal thing to do. And you have to upkeep these things. And some people stress about it because it's like, oh my God, it's so hard to upkeep these things. Well, eventually over time, it doesn't feel so hard, but then you also do have to find something that works for you, right?
Yeah. Like I did watch that video of you talking about identifying as a gym girly. I watched that, by the way.
Yeah.
Loved it. And that's what you have to do. You have to wake up every day and be like, you know, what would a gym girl do?
Yeah.
Like a gym girl would go to the gym.
Yeah.
And like she wouldn't stress about, you know, the outcome, the bigger ass, the smaller waist.
She's just going.
She's just going.
Yeah, she's just literally going. You have to also drop that imperfectionist, like that perfectionist mindset sometimes, because like there's just gonna be days where, yeah, like you're not gonna have the best workout, or like you can't get to the gym, but like maybe you're going on a walk or like whatever. You have to be okay with that, because if you get down on yourself about that, then you'll go in a cycle too.
Yeah.
Can't get like that.
You know what? Sometimes I drive to the gym and I drive right back home.
Wow.
Sometimes I just don't feel it.
Yeah.
And there's a difference between not feeling it and like not being disciplined.
And talking yourself out of it just because you don't,
Like don't go into that mindset like, well, I don't feel like doing it.
Yeah.
But like, really, how do you feel?
Yeah. One thing I do too is like, I know sometimes when I wake up in the morning and like the stories will come of like trying to talk myself out of it, I try not to even focus on my energy at that point, and I just tell myself like, you decide when you get to the gym.
Yeah.
Or like decide if you want to eat that meal once you've made the healthy meal.
Yeah.
Like don't talk yourself out of things you haven't even done yet.
Exactly, and that's the whole thing of me driving to the gym. I'm still gonna drive there though.
Yes.
And when I get there, I'll decide.
Then you can decide. And 9 times out of 10, like you will go, you'll do something. And I always tell myself like, I always end up finding the energy to go to the gym. Like I always end up enjoying my meal when I make it. I know. Versus like ordering.
This was me the other day. Like the other day, I was really, you know, like in my head, I think I was like talking to you. I was like really not feeling it. It was that day you asked me like, oh, it's like 10 o'clock at night. Like, and you go to the gym now. Right? And it's like, when I don't feel like going to the gym, it's late at night, I just put my gym clothes on. I put it on. You know, if I feel like getting in my car, I'll get in my car. And then when I get in my car, I'll go to the gym. I'll decide if I want to go into the gym when I get to the gym.
Yes. When you need to decide. Yeah. Not like you're just deciding before it even happens.
Yeah.
You're telling yourself, you're telling yourself no.
By the way, I put my gym clothes on. I went to the gym and had a great workout. I had a great workout. And I actually looked at the clock. It was like 11 o'clock or something at night. And I'm like, I can't believe I really thought I wasn't going to have a great workout, because I really did. I really did.
I love that. So I think to sum it up, like with everything, like it does come back to the stories that you tell yourself though, regardless of like gym, eating healthy, whatever goals you have, financial goals, like anything, like you are the one that usually ends up talking yourself in or out of things. So you have to be very aware of that and stop attaching to the outcome so much. And eventually it'll come. So
identify as that person you want to be.
Identify as that bitch. Anyways, we're gonna go because we gotta go.
We gotta go. Oh shoot, we gotta go.
That's fine. Anyways, okay. Love you guys. See you soon. Hello everyone. It is very late the next day. It is like 6 o'clock. So unfortunately, I totally forgot to film in landscape last night when I was at the event. So I really only had clips for like a reel or a TikTok. So I'm just gonna play the little reel that I made and you can kind of see the vibes. Last night was really fun. There were so many people at this Patron event, and this was not a typical content creator event that I've gone to in the past. Like there's never been this many people at an event, but honestly, a lot of them I feel like were people in the industry, like nightclub industry or adjacent, which would make sense. If you're promoting something like alcohol, then you would probably want people who are like nightclub owners and everyone there. So it was definitely interesting. We didn't stay for that long. We got there at the right time, like 8:30 when they opened, and it was really packed already. We got a few drinks, which were actually really good. Of course, got some content, observed everyone that was there, obviously. Everyone looked so good, like unreal. I met a few content creators that I've met before, and it's funny because I saw one of the girls at the pop-up shop this morning and she was there at the Patron event as well, so that was pretty cool. But it was out in like a warehouse, so it was technically inside, but it was still outside, and I get super cold, so After a few hours of being there, I was like, honestly, like, let's just go back home and order food. We were originally gonna go out to dinner because we were kind of lit. So we're like, let's go get some food and go to a restaurant. But then by the time I got back, I was super cold and tired. And I was like, let's just order sushi. So we got a bunch of sushi. We hung out for a bit. We watched Selling Sunset and then I passed out. Jordy went home in the morning. I was up early as well. Like we were up at like 7 o'clock because that's just what we do. And especially for me, when I go to bed later than usual and or let's say I'm drinking, even though I didn't drink a lot last night, like I wasn't hungover, as soon as I get up, I like to just go do something, whether that's like a hot girl walk, getting to work, getting outside, doing something instead of like laying in bed and either, you know, feeling like I'm really tired, so I'm just like procrastinating things. This is one thing that I was thinking about when it comes to like staying on track of your goals, is really just getting past those stories that will come up in your head, or like the stories that you're gonna tell yourself to talk yourself out of things. And I've talked about this already in this video, but it's literally so important that you just get up and do something. The more you wait to do something, the more stories, the more evidence, the more everything that you're going to pull into your head to allow you to stay comfortable, to allow you to stay where you're at. And especially being somebody who used to be a perfectionist, if I woke up and I wasn't feeling the best or I didn't have a lot of energy like this morning, and I told myself that I was supposed to be doing a leg day, if I woke up and felt like this, I would have such negative thoughts and negative self-talk, or I would get really mad at myself because I realized like, yeah, maybe I'm not gonna have enough energy to go to the gym and do a really hard leg day like the way that I wanted to. Versus just getting out of bed and doing something, whether that's like deciding that yes, I'm gonna go do that heavy leg day, or deciding in that moment, today's not the day we're doing a leg day and we're gonna go on a walk, and that's gonna be that. We're not going to tell ourselves a story of like, oh my God, progress is being lost, or like, I'm such a bad person for not going, whatever. It's like, we're done. We've decided that we're gonna do something that's, you know, less strenuous, let's say, or like you're really feeling like you can't do it, but you're still gonna do something. And also we're not gonna keep spiraling. Like the spiraling in the stories and the also doing the all or nothing thinking by saying like, I'm not gonna do any exercise because I can't do my heavy leg day, is done. And the more times I got good at just stopping with the stories, continuing to move forward, whether that is perfect or not perfect, whether I'm going to the gym or I'm doing a hot girl walk, the quicker I get out of little slumps or little ruts, or honestly just like me living my life and then waking up and not being my 100% most energized self because yeah, I went out and drank. It's not a big deal. But the more I dwelled in that energy, the more I spiraled. And I realized like I was the only one getting in my own way. The stories are getting in your own way, like always. So to sum up a few of my really important tips here, detaching from the outcome is going to be so beneficial for you when it comes to any goals that you do have. Learning to identify as that person who has X, Y, and Z that you actually want in your life is gonna be even more important. Asking yourself, how do I think? How do I feel? Where do I put my time and my energy as being the best version of myself? And asking yourself that every single day. And dropping the perfectionist and the all or nothing thinking. And actually, one more thing that I'll add, because obviously those things are definitely more that mindset work, but obviously having some sort of plan in place will help you stay on track of your goals. The power of looking at your month or your week and writing the things that you want to do down from the place of detaching, from the place of not being perfect, from the place of identifying as that person, is really going to help you actually succeed and hit certain goals. When you have the vision that you want in your head written out, planned out, structured, so you can have something to look to, is going to be the way that you are going to get what you want in your life. And I honestly do think it is the balance of the masculine and the feminine, the structure, the planning, the linear focus, but also balancing in that feminine flow, meaning knowing that not every single day you're going to feel the same, being okay that maybe not every single day you're going to hit that goal 1000%, being in the present moment, detaching from this need and this scarcity and this chasing of a goal. That to me is a very, very balanced person. And I'm not perfect, but I have learned over the years how to really truly balance that masculine and that feminine, whether that's in my relationships, whether that's a relationship towards myself and how I show up in my life, and definitely for my work. And I was thinking about doing a video on how I balance the masculine and the feminine, like getting things done, balancing things, not being so super stressed, because I have absolutely been there. Then definitely let me know. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget, I do have a podcast channel, the Glow of Secrets podcast. You can also find it on Spotify and Apple. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Alicia Gogan, as well as the podcast Instagram because it's always very motivating, and I just feel like if you're wanting good vibes on your social media platform, if you're wanting some accountability, then I feel like you should be following me on both of those pages because we are getting things done this summer. And thank you again for Native for sponsoring today's video. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.